Well, two quarterbacks that were starters in other places, Denver and Chicago. Now, both are in Pittsburgh, according to DraftKings. The number is set at 8.5. AB, it is juiced to the under, however. Where are you headed to start?
I'm going under here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm just not feeling it. I think this is going to be the first year that Mike Tomlin has a losing record, and I don't blame Mike Tomlin on this. But it just seems like it's going to be a disaster back and forth at quarterback. Russ is going to have good days. He's going to have bad days, right? You're going to see the same thing with Justin Fields. It's just going to be a back and forth affair. And the tough part is this. They're just not going to score a ton of points. It's going to be difficult for them. I love Mike Tomlin, and everybody knows it, but I'm rolling under here on Pittsburgh. There's so many more ways that this comes under than it does over.
You almost feel like even though they're the one franchise that has had 3 in the last 60 years, sometimes it may be time for a different voice, even though that voice is a very, very strong one, and he would have another job in an instant. But that would also be different for that new franchise. So maybe it's time. Who knows? All right, we got one under from AB. Raphael, where are you headed?
I just can't take the under on this one. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me the over 8.5 plus 120. Not only has Tomlin won 16 straight winning seasons, but 11 playoff appearances. I know the quarterback has not just one question mark, but 2 big question marks. But I still have trust in Tomlin. I'm going to go 8.5. Last year's total season wins cashed over. The year before total season win cashed over. I have both of them, so I'm going to roll again. If I lose, I'm still out for the past 3 years betting the Pittsburgh Steelers over. So I trust Mike Tomlin. I know the offense is going to be struggling, but I think the defense will hold them into place. Their schedule's rough, but give me the 8.5 plus money. I trust Mike Tomlin.
Can I just throw this out there, guys, that every single year, if I'm correct, and maybe you guys said it, but I'm always doing 3 things at once, but he's never had a sub 500 year, correct? As a head coach.
Correct.
Never had
16 straight years.
16 straight years. So now it's a 17-game season. So you can't be 8-8 anymore. So for him to keep that going, he would have to be what? 9-8, which would take this to the over. So that streak is very much in peril this year. All right, Charles, come over to you. You got one over. We got one under. Where are you headed?
I'm running with that under 8.5 as well. I'll eat the juice on this one. I'm a huge fan of Tomlin, but this team is limited and probably the toughest division in football. Bengals, Ravens, Browns, they may even get swept in the division. Plus, you add in the Falcons, Colts, Cowboys, Jets, Eagles. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to back the under 8.5 as much as I hate to do it. But, yeah, I have to. I think 8-9 would be a good season for the Steelers.
All right, very good. So we got 2 and 1. Super, you've been sitting over there like a gentleman. Where are you headed?
I think they're going to go at exactly 9-8. If this moves up to 9.5, I say take the under. But right now, 8.5, take the over. They have a better quarterback this year. They had no offense last year. That defense held them down. Alex Hightower, Cam Hayward, T.J. Watt, who should have been the defensive player of the year last year. We'll get in that a little later. Russell Wilson has some pretty good weapons. Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, that is going to be one of the greatest 1-2 punches in the league. And George Pickens led the league, 18.1 yards per reception. He's going to have a phenomenal wide receiver one. Again, I believe that this is going to be a 9-8 team, so take that over 8.5.
All right, very good. We got 2 and 2, but it's all about props too. And AB told you a couple of weeks ago when we started this, start a separate account, put that prop in there, and then let it marinate for the next 4.5 months. So AB, where are you headed with the Steelers this time?
When you do that with your separate book, you're going to place Steelers tight end Pat Freiermuth over 3.5 receiving touchdowns. What a low number there for a guy that has been their tight end, their dude. Really, I mean, throughout all these just insane quarterback battles and what they've had going on here, and especially if you have, whether it's Russell Wilson or Justin Fields or both, who do quarterbacks look for? They look for big body tight ends when they need to make and score touchdowns. So we're going to go with Pat Freiermuth over 3.5 receiving touchdowns this year. And trivia question, you were talking about the quarterbacks from the Steelers last year. Does anybody know where Mason Rudolph is right now?
Tennessee.
He is.
Wow, that didn't take you guys long. I would have been probably 10 guesses before I would have got to Tennessee. Interesting. So
I already knew that, but I would have guessed it with AB.
All right, great one there. It seems like a low number for a guy that the last couple of years, we've been saying his name a lot, Pat Fryermuth. All right, Raphael, what prop are you headed to, sir?
Well, first, I forgot to mention this because my brain was still dancing. The Steelers open up at 7.5 as their total season win. So that was even better. But I think the Steelers are going to go 2-0, sweep the Bengals in division play, plus 380. I think I don't have it in front of me. They bring out the broom. I'm not sold with Eminem, Joe Burrow. The running game is probably going to be short. They're missing their key pieces in the running game. Offensive line, especially on the left side, is a little bit weak. And Soupy said it. DJ Watt's going to be hopefully healthy all season long. If that's the case, the Steelers play the Bengals their last game of the year. So if we're holding on to that, we can hedge off in that last game. But I think give me the perfect sweep for Pittsburgh 2-0 against the Bengals, which I think the Bengals end up last place.
Leave it to my man Raphael for finding those really unique plays, which I absolutely love. By the way, Jesse says he's here for my MLB plays. Got to be honest with you, Jesse. Very busy working and getting ready for the podcast, but I'm going to do you a solid. I'll give out 2 on my social media later this afternoon. Don't even worry about it. I got you covered. Hashtag it pays to watch live. All right, Charles, where are you headed, sir?
I'm going to go with George Pickens to get over 1,250 receiving yards in the regular season. He had 1,140 last season. Now with Deontay Johnson going to the Panthers, he's a true number 1 option as well. I think he can get an extra 110 yards this season. So, yeah, give me George Pickens over 1,250 regular season receiving yards.
Maybe the best athlete that plays wide receiver in the entire NFL. Soupy, where are you headed?
What carried the Steelers last year because the offense was terrible was that defense. And who carried that defense? TJ Watt. He should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year. I cannot believe Myles Garrett beat him out. 19 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries. He has, if he even comes close to these numbers this year, he gets that award. Give him Defensive Player of the Year at plus 550.
All right, I like those 4 as we dissect the Steelers. And later today on DTL, the podcast, we're going to dive in a little bit farther on the whole quarterback situation when it comes to one of the iconic franchises.